Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video today. And yesterday, the Houston Texans lost to the Tennessee Titans 32-27. Tough loss for the Texans, really tough loss. And look, I'm not gonna lie. I really expected the Texans to win this game, but it does not surprise me that the Texans lose this game because, look, as a Texans fan, I have learned over and over again that when the Texans, start to look good and then have a game where they're playing a really bad team where they should be the clear, obvious winner and dominate or, get a win, they'll lose. I remember a couple years ago, it's funny, this is actually a good comparison. I remember a couple years ago when the Texans had Deshaun Watson. It was a 2019 season. Texans played New England during Sunday Night Football and pulled off this great win against New England. And then the next week, at home, they played a terrible Denver team with Drew Lock as the starting quarterback. And Drew Lock wasn't playing that well so far. And as the Texans were clear favorites, what would happen? Drew Lock comes into Houston and absolutely starts kicking the Texans in the first half, kicking butt, first and second half, and the Broncos won. What is it? What is and actually, I think it was around the same time of year compared to this year, where Texans in a primetime situation have a great win against the Cowboys. I know they're not as healthy and they're not as good, but it was still a great win. 24 point win, 34 points on the board, had a defensive touchdown. Joe Mixon had 3 touchdowns. CJ Stroud actually looked really good in the win. The whole team looked really good. What happens the next game? At home against an absolutely really bad team and a young quarterback who's really struggling, and he absolutely just kicks our ass, and we lose. It really reminds me of in 2019 when the Texans beat the Patriots during Sunday Night Football, then came home, then we're at home again against the Broncos, where everybody expected them to win the game against the Denver Broncos and Drew Lock, the rookie, and instead they got their butts kicked by Drew Lock and the Broncos. That's what it reminds me of, to be honest. But this was a tough loss, and the Texans should have won this game 100%. 100% should have won this game. There were a lot of mistakes. Look, I think the way this game started off, you couldn't ask for a better start. Dameon Pierce has an absolute elite kick return. I mean, one of his best kick returns since his touchdown on Christmas Eve. And what happens after that? First play of the drive, CJ Stroud throws a 19-yard touchdown dime to Cade Stover. And after that, it was looking like, okay, this is a good day for the Texans. Titans score a field goal on their first drive, feeling like, all right, the Texans were able to stop them to a field goal. Then Will Levis throws an absolute touchdown dime to Nick Westbrook-Akina at 38 yards. It's 10-7. Then Tony Ballard has a 10-yard touchdown run, 17-7. After that, CJ Stroud throws a 5-yard touchdown pass to Nico Collins. Great 78-yard drive. Took 4 minutes. It's a 3-point game. And with a minute and 47 seconds left, the Texans are in position. Absolute great throw by CJ Stroud to Nico Collins. And it's a 5-play, 55-yard drive. He threw a 56-yard to Nico Collins, and I believe some penalties held them back from going any farther, and they had to go for a 20-yard field goal, 17-17, and it feels like the Texans are back in the football game, right? It feels like they're back in the game, and at that point, I felt like the Texans were playing great football because I feel like at the end of that third quarter, they were really getting back to themselves, had back-to-back scoring drives, a 5-yard touchdown to Nico, a 56-yard pass to Nico, unfortunately, which would end up as a 20-yard field goal for Kaimi. And just like that, it's tied to 17. The defense continues to get stops. They stop the Titans. The defense stopped the Titans, forced the Titans to punt. Texans get the ball back with 45 seconds. Here's what the Texans should have done. With 45 seconds left, getting the ball at the 10-yard line, and the Tennessee Titans starting off with the football to start off the half, what the Texans should have done with 45 seconds left, and I think the Texans only had one timeout in their back pocket at like the 10 or 15-yard line. What they should have done was run the ball. If you get a big play, if you get a nice run, that's where you start to pass the ball and try to maybe go get a field goal. But do not try to throw the ball at when you're at your own 10, 15-yard line where you can throw an interception. What do the Texans do on their first play? They throw the football, and C.J. Stroud throws an interception. That's where I think things started to maybe go a little bit downhill for this off. I really do think that interception for Stroud at the end of the half, where the Texans should have ran the clock out, go to halftime tied up, is where things went downhill for the offense. In my opinion, I think that's where things really, really went downhill. Look, honestly, completely honest, I know that the offense has had struggles in the second half before, but I think if they let that clock run at the end of the half, go to the halftime, and Stroud doesn't have that interception, I think him and the offense can play completely different in the second half and actually have a good second half as an offense. I think that interception really messed with C.J. Stroud at the end of the half. What happens after? The defense. Let's give a shout out to the defense. The defense had like 2 straight sacks. There was like 2 or 3 straight sacks. Will Anderson got involved. Kadar Holman got involved, and which would be like a 35, 37-yard field goal for the Titans, turned into a 56-yard kick for the Titans. The Titans went back 18 yards. It was going to be a 36-yard kick. Would have been an easy chip shot. And the Texans defense got that all the way to a 56-yard kick. Now, it didn't really matter because Nick Folk would make that 56-yard kick, but let's acknowledge how the defense really did help that out there with that defense. But Nick Folk did not care. He kicked a 56-yarder, and then he opened up the second half with a 51-yarder. The offense looked dead in the third quarter until Jimmy Ward had a 65-yard interception return. That didn't do anything for the offense. That just gave the Texans the lead. Then Kaimi Farrenbarren had a 54-yard field goal on a 4-play 7-yard drive, made it 27-23. Will Levis threw a 7-yard touchdown pass to Okonkwo, their tight end. That was a really nice throw and really nice run by Chig. Made it 30-27, and then at the end of the game, C.J. Stroud got sacked for a safety, and that was it. All right, game leaders, 18 for 24, 278 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, 2 interceptions. 1 interception for Will Levis. C.J. Stroud, 20 for 33, 247 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, 2 interceptions. I'm not going to hate on C.J. Stroud too bad. The Titans have been a really good secondary this year. They've done a really good job when facing quarterbacks. They've been phenomenal this year, most of the year. And they're like even though they've been such a bad team this year, they're like top 3 and top 4 defenses going up against quarterbacks, and quarterbacks putting numbers up against them. They've done a tremendous job against QBs this year, even though they've been so bad. More of the time this year, their weakness has been going up against the run game than the pass game. And so I thought C.J. Stroud made some good throws for a guy who was going up against a good secondary, a solid defense in total. But he also made his fair share of mistakes. He threw 2 touchdowns, sure, but he also threw 2 interceptions, and he did throw near 250 passing yards. But I think some of the blame has to go to coaching. Like I said, I honestly think if the interception didn't happen at the end of the half, I think the offense is a completely different story in the second half. I really do. And I think where you point the finger to there is coaching. Bobby Slowick, D'Amico Ryans. Why, with 40 seconds left at your own 10, 15-yard line, are you trying to throw the ball with only one timeout? What you should do, run the clock out, go to halftime. Instead, you try to get greedy. You threw an interception. Defense tried to save your ass, and they did a good job of trying to do that, which with 2 straight sacks and made the Titans lose 18 yards and turned a 36-yard field goal attempt for the Titans into turned a 38-yard attempt into a 56-yard attempt for the Titans. And the defense did a hell of a job, but Nick Folk still made a 56-yard field goal, and that costed 3 points in this game. Really did. And then obviously we know about the Kaimi Fairbairn missed 28-yard field goal. That hurt as well. But look, I think I honestly think that if the offense would have just ran the clock out, which should have been an easy decision for Bobby Slowick, that missed field goal by Kaimi Fairbairn, the missed field goal would have not been the missed game-tying field goal. It would have been the missed game-winning field goal, because if the offense lets the clock run in that situation, what ends up happening is, there's no 56-yard field goal for Nick Folk at all. And halftime is 17-17, and maybe possibly that interception doesn't affect C.J. Stroud's second half. All right, let's go over some other stats. Tony Pollard, 24 carries, 119 rushing yards, 1 touchdown. Joe Mixon had 4 carries, 22 rushing yards. Really tough day for him after the outstanding game against the Cowboys. Calvin Ridley, 5 receptions for 93 receiving yards. Nico Collins, I would say, probably had a better day. 5 receptions, 92 receiving yards, and a touchdown. Let's go over some other stats. Will Levis ran for 10 yards. C.J. Stroud ran for 18. Okonkwo had his 170-yard touchdown. That was it for him. Tyler Boyd had 6 receptions for 55 receiving yards. Nick Westbrook-Akina had his big 38-yard touchdown. Outside of that, he had 1 reception for 10 yards. Tony Pollard had 3 receptions for 10 receiving yards. Tank Dell had 3 receptions for 72 receiving yards. I thought Kate Stover was great. 3 receptions, 26 receiving yards in his first career touchdown. Joe Mixon had 5 receptions for 23 receiving yards. Dalton Schultz had 2 receptions for 20 receiving yards. Fumbles, Will Levis did lose a fumble, which was recovered by Chris Boyd. And there was a lost fumble by Jaquan Jackson, which was recovered by Mario Edwards Jr. Defensive stats, the sacks were crazy. There were 7 sacks in the first half. Unbelievable for this defense. 1 sack for Azeez Al-Shahir, 3 sacks for Daniil Hunter. 1 sack for Derek Barnett. 2 sacks for Will Anderson Jr., who was a beast in the first half. 1 sack for Tommy Tojai. 13 total tackles for loss. Today, the Texans found out that Jalen Petrie is going to be out indefinitely for a couple weeks. He had 1 tackle in this game. Interceptions, obviously, Jimmy Ward had that amazing 65-yard interception return. But Stroud also threw 2 interceptions to Jarvis Brownlee Jr. and Kenneth Murray Jr. Let me know your thoughts on the Texans' 32-27 loss. But, look, I'm going to have confidence. The Texans have not played their best football recently, but I am very confident that the Texans win next week against Jacksonville with no Trevor Lawrence. And the Texans beat Jacksonville next week with the way they're playing, and I think tanking for a draft pick. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and peace out.